What's going on, everyone? Good Monday evening. It's a new week, it's a new month, and we got a new show here, HKB Live, coming back at you. It's been a while, so welcome back. Seeing some familiar faces in the feed already tonight. Austin, you are correct. That was Steve Martin in that picture for our background banner there for tonight's episode, which is all about Grby. We're talking about the rise of Grby here in the community tonight. Special guest Cole Ritter with us tonight. Unfortunately, Jim Strunk's not going to be able to make it, feeling a little under the weather, but that's all right. Cole's his right hand man, and he knows what's going on in Grby Nation, so he'll be able to answer all our questions. And we'll get Jim on for a future episode here soon. I'm already thinking about. So, what's up, Kyle King? Speaking of Kyle King, tonight's show is presented by King Angler Rods. Kyle King, the master rod craftsman he is, building some amazing rods. If you haven't seen some of his latest stuff, head over, click on his profile after this go live and check out what he's pumping out. It's pretty sweet. Troy Stinson in the house. What's going on, buddy? Thanks for joining. Appreciate you. And Austin, love it. I didn't even have to ask. You're on top of it. Sounding good. Video's good. That's great. So I'm not going to waste any time here. You guys already know what to do. Like, show us some love in the comments, and share this with your friends. It's a Monday night. I know a lot of guys are watching football, maybe watching the Pacers play right now. But we're gonna get Cole in here, and we're gonna talk a little bit about fishing and everything else going on here in the state. So let's get him in here.
What's
What's
up? What's
up?
up?
How you doing, man?
Oh, just a beautiful Monday evening. Got the fireplace going. Monday Night Football on TV. Doesn't get much better than that.
Heck yeah, heck yeah. What do we got? Chiefs and who else is playing?
Giants.
Chiefs and Giants. You
Yep.
see that Colts game yesterday?
Oh, yeah.
Oh
Yo, I,
man.
I I just made a recent upgrade to my garage, and I added a TV out there, so
Mm.
now I can tackle prep and watch football all day on Sundays. It's changed my life. It's fantastic.
Man, we are like on the same page right now.
Yep.
I have like this old TV like sitting in the closet, and I was gonna drag it down. I don't have cable or anything though, so I watch Colts games on my phone because they're free on
Ah.
mobile. If you guys
Yep.
didn't know that, you can watch Colts games on mobile. Anyway, yesterday we got the Turkey Bowl coming up, so I had to
Yep.
get some lights on the new trailer, at least temporarily. And so while I was rigging and running new wires and all that, I was watching the Colts game on my phone, and I had the Bluetooth speaker going. Uh, Turn it up on my end a bit. Let me see if I can do that. I'm using this. Tell me if that's any better there.
Do I need to get mine away? Sorry, Austin, about my
I
loud
don't know.
mouth.
I don't know. Can you hear me all right, guys? Let me know. I know there's a little bit of delay, so. Um, all right. Well, we'll see what comes back there. But anyway, so yeah, Colts yesterday, tough loss. I mean, that was a game that would make or break their season, and it looks like it's going to break it. They got,
Especially with Derrick Henry going down now. I mean, they
yeah,
could have made a good run in the playoffs with a win there, and now it's going to be a tough uphill battle for sure.
it is, and Carson Wentz getting a lot of hate right now, a lot of
Yeah,
hate, and I
you,
and
you
I
know
don't
that
put it all on him either, though.
that interception in the end zone, everybody was so upset about that, but that was better getting the pick six than had he taken a sack there, and then they would have put up 2 points and got the ball back, and then we wouldn't have had a chance to come down and tie. So
Yeah, yeah.
I
And
mean,
people are saying, "Oh, he should have spiked it. He should have."
yeah,
Like, come on. It was not that simple of a play, at least not in my eyes. And
yep,
honestly, he shouldn't have been put in that position in the first place. Terrible play call. I really appreciate the fact that Frank owned that in the post game coverage.
Yep.
And he said, look, that was just a terrible play call. Wentz did make some mistakes, and he's been known to do that. But he also is the reason we were even in that position to begin with, to have a shot at winning that game. So, love him or hate him, it is what it is. But Colts are going to have a tough go at it now, trying to even.
You only get a Peyton Manning and Andrew Luck every so often, so you got to take what you get the rest of the time. And I mean, Wentz hasn't been terrible this year, so we'll take what we got right now.
Yeah, and I gotta be honest. I'm not. I was never a big fan of Luck to begin with. A huge Manning fan, but I was never a big fan of Luck to begin with. But yeah, you're right. It's very rare that comes across. Pacers too, struggling. Oh my gosh, they are winning tonight. It looks like, but they've been struggling. They got one win this season, and it's been tough for them. All right. So everyone's saying my volume is still on the low side. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to switch.
You want to pop those out, and I can deal with the echo. It's not that big of a deal.
I'm going to do my mic from my computer. That's going to change the game right here. Hang on. Boom. Now, can you guys hear me all right? Do you have an echo?
Nope, no echo.
Good. All right. So I'm doing my audio through the earbuds, but the mic is going through the computer now.
Perfect.
Okay. Talk like we are kids and did something wrong. What's Merlin talking about?
I think he just wants you to talk a little bit louder.
Oh, you want me to scream at you? Gotcha.
Mm-hmm.
I gotta be quiet, man. The kids are sleeping like two doors down. If I get too loud, it'll be chaos in here. So all right, Adam's saying way better. We are. Look, guys, you didn't miss much anyway. We were just talking about how much the Colts and the Pacers have sucked so far this year. If you didn't hear me, that's all we were talking about. We'll move on to some fishing stuff and get this show going. It's been a while since we've done this, guys, but expect it a little bit more often. I got some things I'm working on for 2022. I'm pretty excited about. We're going to be doing these lives from time to time, but we're going to have a weekly podcast. I'm going to call it HKB 22. It's going to be 22 minutes long. That's it. That's the goal. Weekly podcast for you guys, and then we'll do the lives here and there to bring some additional content for you guys as well. Of course, we announced today the Indy Knights team. Speaking of Indy sports, that we're going to be doing a podcast called the Knights Roundtable, which is going to be mostly geared around the Knights and the KFL, but we'll be talking about all things kayak fishing and Indy sports, of course. So exciting stuff there. But tonight is all about Grby. We're talking the rise of the phenomenon that is grassroots bass yakking here in the state of Indiana. Well, it's extended past the state of Indiana, but here in Indiana, it's a household name anymore. I just sold my kayak, one of my kayaks tonight. Was talking about Grby to a new kayaker, lives up in Kokomo area. So hopefully we'll see him at the Niona series in 2022, assuming that's going to stick around. Well, Cole, you've been a busy guy.
I have, and I need to be busier than I have been. Work's been kicking my butt here lately, and I need to, it's a shame when the paying gig gets in the way of what I need to do Grby-wise. So I've got to get on it and get going for next year. But
I feel that. I do. This is my busy time of year as well for work, and then I'm also trying to do all that my stuff, HKB, the Knights, and all that. So I get it. Prepping for the Turkey Bowl coming up, I got sick, and so a lot of the things that I wanted to do and had planned for the Turkey Bowl didn't come through, but I still think we're going to have a pretty great event. We'll talk more about that here in a minute, but yeah, man. So let's start with the beginning. How and where this all started.
This was a brainchild of Jim Strunk. Really, he and Brad Montgomery worked together the first year, and Jim kind of saw what was going on with the industry, and everybody was spending all this time on the road, traveling around, fishing these different lakes all over the state, the country, and spending time away from their families. And he just saw a need for something more local, to where guys don't have to drive 2 and 3 hours for each tournament. Spending a night or two, pre-fishing and all that, and just something close. He'd kind of seen what USA Bassin did with the local series on local lakes, and guys could pick a series, compete for an AOI, and then move on to bigger prizes if they wanted to through qualifications with that. So he kind of modeled Grby with the USA Bassin model and selected, I think, what did they do? 4 lakes on their first year. Maybe it was 5. I can't remember exactly, but different lakes around Indiana. I think what was it? St. James up north. Was it Geist? Did he have one on Monroe that first year? I can't remember.
I'm not honestly sure. I don't can't
I,
even remember
I can't
that
remember.
far
I
back.
wasn't honestly. I wasn't involved with it the first year. I mean, I kind of saw what Jim was doing, but Jim and I weren't that great of friends at that point. We kind of got to know each other over that first year when Grubby was just taking off, and then after that first season, everybody kind of started figuring out what it was. It was such a unique format with
It was in the
being
kayak
able
space.
to do a series. You pick your day, and at that time, I think it was just Friday, Saturday, Sunday were the only 3 days you could pick one of those to fish,
Hmm.
and then you'd compete. The tournament was all weekend. You were competing with the guys fishing different days, so that was just something that had never been done. Nobody really quite understood it at the beginning, and then I think that first year at the championship they had 5, 6, maybe 7 guys at the most, and Chip Romanowicz walked away with the championship. And then the year after that, I got involved with Jim, and I was like, "Hey, let's throw a series out on Glen Flint," and then we just started adding series to it, and it's blossomed. And we went from what was that first year was 5, 7 anglers, and this year we had I think 84 anglers at the championship. So
Crazy.
it's exploded in the 3 years it's been around.
Yeah, I remember last year the championship being on Shakamak, and no
Yep.
one expected to have when that was set. No one expected to have the turnout that we
Yeah.
did, and it was a little bit like bumper cars. But I think what has made Grubby so great is one, giving people so many options to fish, but for whatever reason, the community in Grubby from the beginning has always been about the fun
Yeah.
and about the fellowship
Yep.
and the brotherhood. And we know that to be true about kayak fishing in general. It's just so much better than what you see in the bass boat world for those of you that have come from that space. Um, and everyone talks about how great the community is, in the kayak space. But with Grubby, it's like another level. You know, I've experienced it so many times. Just guys getting together and talking on the water, sharing techniques and tricks, helping
Hmm.
each other out. There still is the competitive aspect of it, though. So you really get the best of both worlds. How did you guys get that going? Like, how did you develop that?
I I mean, it's a lot of it. I think stems from Jim's character. I mean, Jim's an open book. I mean, that's honestly how Jim and I got to know each other. Is he was a guy I saw being successful in the SIAC month longs. He was having some good IKA tournaments, and I knew he was in Spencer. Saw he fished some of the stuff on the west side. I live on the west side, and it was my first year kayak fishing, so I started reaching out to him, saying, "Hey, I'm thinking about going down to, I think it was Chinook Fish and Wildlife. It's like, you ever been there? There's several different pits down there that you can choose from. Just kind of looking for a little direction." And he's like, "Hey, try this one. I've had luck in this one. do this, and this kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And our relationship just kind of grew from there. We met up out at Waveland one time. I think it was 2 days after Christmas, if I remember right. And we decided let's go out there and fish. And that was the first time I'd ever met Jim. We had messaged several times on Facebook, but never met. And we went out there, and he didn't last very long because he showed up, forgot his gloves at home, and it was raining, and it was about 34 degrees. So he didn't stick around too long. But we fished together for a few hours, got to know each other, and I mean that's the way Jim is with anybody. If you've got a question, you reach out, ask him. He's going to answer. I mean, he'll say, go here, do here, whatever. He's an open book, and I mean, really, the way he has grown Grubby is through relationships like that. And I mean, everybody's kind of taken that lead from him. That we're all open books, and you know we're not going to give away everything, but
Sure.
we want to see everybody be successful. I mean, part of that is the no minimum length. I mean
Mm-hmm.
that's very conducive to new anglers coming out, and everybody can put up. If you're not putting up a limit, surely you're going to catch an 8-inch fish. I mean, some of the tournaments have been tougher this year. That hasn't happened, but
Yeah.
it's one thing that people like about Grubby. And then our low entry fees. $35 entry fee. You've got a little skin in the game, but you're not talking about life changing money. If you want to go out and fish and you don't have much luck the first half of the day, then you might spend the second half of the day just hanging with a buddy, shooting the breeze, while you're both fishing the
Right.
same dock or something like that. And
Yeah.
there's nothing too competitive about it because you don't have a lot of money on the line, and that's one of the nice things about it. I mean, with our format, you've got to sign up on Thursday or Wednesday night or Thursday morning before the tournament start on Thursday. So, there is a little bit of risk because maybe something comes up on the weekend and you're not able to fish when you signed up for on Sunday. And we don't allow moving after the tournament started from day to day.
Mm-hmm.
So, but at the same time, it's only a $35 entry fee. So
Right.
if you burn an entry fee, it's happened to all of us probably at this point.
I've
So
never burned an entry. What are you
never
talking
burned an
about?
entry fee.
No.
But
I've fished them
I mean,
all.
we try and be as friendly as we can, as accommodating as we can for everybody, and people have responded. And
Yes.
I mean,
Absolutely. I mean,
one of the other big things is our prizes. I mean, you look at the
Mhm.
championship, and yeah, we have our high end prizes if you do well in the tournament. But I mean, Brian Hensley walked out of there. I don't even know what place he finished in the championship, but he walked out of there with a trailer, and all he had to do was fish 4 events and walked out of there with a $5,000 trailer because he showed up to the championship. So things like that. We just try and be. Everybody has skin in the game at that point. Everybody has a chance at good prizes, and I think that's one reason it's been successful.
Yeah, I think, you know, the response from the community has been great. Um, the only real negative I've ever heard is just, some people's concerns that there's too many options in the state, too many options within Grubby, and it's spreading it out a little bit. And that's not a conversation that is only about Grubby. I mean, we've heard that in the kayak space now for years, even at the national level. Hobie, Bass, KBF. There is rumor now because of a Bass Talk Live podcast with Boyd Duckett that MLF is going to do something in 2023, even though he didn't technically say that. But this is also a conversation that happens and has happened a lot in the bass boat world. We saw the explosion of that I think in like 2009, bass fishing was the fastest growing sport in the world, something like that, 2008, 2009. So we've seen that, and obviously it's doing well. I mean, I think the answer to that is it doesn't seem to really be slowing anything down. I mean, you guys are getting great turnouts in the majority of your events.
I think you guys had you broke over 50 in the White River event this year.
Yeah, a couple of the White Rivers, I think we were over 50.
Yeah.
I mean, oversaturation has been something we've been concerned about and had a lot of discussions about in the off season, and we're going to try and change a few things next year to try and prevent that. I mean, one of the last things we want to do is we don't want to compete with IKA, we don't want to compete with SIAC, we don't want to compete with the Bass Nation Kayak Series that's going to be starting this year. We want to complement them and work with them as best we can, and we want to offer something different than what those series do. You look at IKA, and they're essentially a trail series that was around mostly central to northern Indiana. They'll dip down into the south a little bit, and but all their events are primarily on Saturdays. And we kind of had a deep discussion between our TD group this year, with our trail series. It's like, okay, a trail series is essentially what IKA is. Our goal is not to compete with IKA. We don't want to take stuff away from them. So we're like, okay, let's do away with the trail series. And then the more we started thinking about it, we're like, well, the only problem with that is the thing we offer that's different than IKA with our trail series is you've got these anglers out here that can't fish Saturdays.
Right.
Well, with ours, you can fish Thursday, Friday, Saturday, Sunday, or Monday.
Absolutely.
So that opens it up to a whole different group of people. So we took a hard look at that, and we're like, all right, maybe that is something we should keep, because there's a lot of guys that can't do that. So I think we are going to keep the trail series this year.
Okay.
It's going to stay within the state of Indiana, and it'll most likely be on grubby lakes that we haven't been to yet. So you're probably going to see them on Sullivan, Raccoon. I don't know. We haven't really set the schedule yet, but we're starting to work towards doing something like that. Is kind of the plan. So, we'll still offer some type of a trail for our anglers that want to do that, but the intention is to not take away from them. We want our anglers to be able to fish, with what works with their schedule and still be able to compete. The other thing we're wanting to do this year to prevent that oversaturation is every series is going to max out at 5 events. A lot of our series had 6 this year, so we can cut out 10 events. 10 tournaments this year by just going down to five of those, and then we're also going to stagger them. And Adam says trail's going to start at Brush Creek.
Yeah,
I don't have a problem going to Brush Creek.
No,
so
not happening. Not happening. I'm boycotting that.
You're boycotting that, but we're going to stagger them. So you've got certain lakes that are better in the spring, and you've got certain lakes that are better into the summer. I wouldn't quite call it fall whenever we end. So we're going to try and set up our schedules to where, we favor the lakes that are better in the spring starting, and then like Raccoon seems to turn on. Raccoon's the lake that I fish the most. I'm the most familiar with it. Raccoon seems to turn on later in the summer, so we'll start that one a little bit later than say somewhere like Monroe seems to do better in the spring. So
Monroe has this window in which it is
not the early spring. You saw that with IKA. Not early, but
it's definitely about the spawn there at Monroe. If you don't want to have to search for them, for sure. Well, I want to go back to what you said about working with and not against, and collaborating with the other TDs. I think that is something that we do better here in Indiana than anywhere else. I think you guys have just done an outstanding job of working together and respecting each other's plays and not making it a competition of series. And that's one thing I'm super thankful for. You guys have been great working with me when I've got stuff that I'm trying to do, like the Turkey Bowl or the state championship, that sort of thing. But what's very cool here in the state of Indiana is we have 3, now 4 in 2022 with Bass Nation. But prior to that, we've got 3 series that are all very different and offer something for everyone. IK has been the long-running trail series, if you will, central to northern Indiana. They're starting to dip a little bit further south now, which I think is great, spreading it out. We'll see what 2022 brings for them. They had a terrible year, bad luck. But it's more of that standard trail series. And then you've got SIAC, which brings in all kinds of different formats, month-longs, weekends, nocturnals, on-sites. They kind of hit it all, which is cool. It's
Rivers,
a little something
lakes.
for it's a little something for everyone. And that's really cool. That feels clubby, kind of like that club atmosphere. And then you've got Grby, who's you guys have just come out with this very interesting format, very similar to USA Bassin. But for most kayak guys, they're not familiar with USA Bassin.
Right.
You've really taken it, like you said, and you've made it to where I can go fish two Grby events in a week, plus a SIAC and an IK event if I want to. Mm-hmm. A lot of times, even though it's more tournaments and it's spread out across the entire season, it doesn't really conflict much because you have the options of fishing multiple days or double, triple dipping because you guys have done such a good job of working together. And scheduling these events.
Yeah, and we're pretty, especially now that we're 2 years into this, we're aware of what anglers, will fish multiple series within Grby, so we know not to schedule those on the same weekend. Like there's a lot of guys that fish Summit and White River, so those are two events we try and keep apart. Next year we're adding the Tippecanoe River into the mix, so we want to spread out Tippy, White River. That way, those two, and we don't want our guys to be fishing every single weekend and then everybody ends up divorced and the people that end up making money on this whole thing is the lawyers in the end. So, we want our guys to be able to fish on the first week of the month and then have a week off and then another tournament on there. So, we try and factor all that into whenever we're scheduling this stuff to where we don't have, a bunch of events right on top of each other if guys are going to be fishing them, and to where they're gone every weekend of every month throughout the summer. So we try and be as friendly with the family schedule, the personal schedule, and all the angler schedules as we can. So it's
absolutely
with as many what we have 80, I think within Indiana we had 84 tournaments last year, so getting all those on the calendar was quite cumbersome, and it's going to be about the same again this year probably. So
yeah, do you guys have an anticipated date on which you might be able to start dropping some schedules?
I've made kind of a schedule that I made. We got to get all the input from all the tournament directors. I just kind of put one together, and then we can start sliding stuff from there to make sure it works. Because one thing we try and do is our tournament directors put in all the hard work on these, so we want to make sure they're able to fish their own series, or if they want to. So
right,
especially like somebody like Jeremiah Thompson, for instance, he's a firefighter. He only has certain weekends whenever he's actually off, so we always try and make sure that when we set those dates, those are dates that are going to work for him as well as work with the schedule itself. But,
absolutely.
We're looking at that'll be going out to all the tournament directors this week. And then we're going to be massaging it here for the next few weeks. My goal is to have the schedule out before Thanksgiving.
Nice. Are you in a position to talk about what all locations will be on that schedule?
If I can remember them all, yeah.
All right. Let's see how good you are.
All right. Let's see. We'll start north. Lake St. Clair. It's back. So Cole Garland's going to be running that series again. So we'll go a little bit south of there. Nyona South Mud is back, and
nice.
George Nemeth is gonna be continuing with that one. And then we'll go over a little to the west to the Tippecanoe River, and that is going to be Austin Killian will be running that one.
Okay.
And I think he's going to have a little bit of help up there with some local guys that have good eyes on the water. Just because he's a few hours away from there, so
sure.
We like to be able to have eyes on all the water, just safety wise.
Absolutely.
So we know what's going on. So he'll have some help keeping an eye on that up there. What would be the next farther south would probably be White River.
White River.
So that'll be our second second river series, and that'll be Jeremiah Thompson's running that again. And then probably not Summit Lake will be
Summit.
back. That'll be
Nice.
Josh Robbins will be running that series for us again. And then maybe Raccoon would probably be the next one south, I would say. And I'm going to be co-running that with Coach Brian Moore. He's going to step in and help us out for that. He's
Awesome.
He's local to that area. I mean, he's done okay out there at that lake.
He knows a little bit.
Little bit about it.
Little bit.
Only back-to-back AOYs.
Yeah,
That's all he's done. So he doesn't know much about that lake, but that'll open me up to do some more, admin grubby stuff and stuff like that with him helping me out with that.
Awesome.
Then from there, probably Sullivan would be maybe the next one south, and Aaron Molander is going to keep going with that one. And then let's see. Now it's getting tough. Brush Creek, that's going to be back with
Adam
Murray. Sorry, Ryan Reedy was texting me there. He's sending me some top secret spots, I guess, to check out at the Turkey Bowl. So
we're going to talk about that too in a minute.
Okay. So. And then let's see, Monroe's back with Steve Martin. Yep, it'll be back. It needs some redemption, that's for sure. So
it does.
I think you want another crack at that one for some reason.
Maybe.
Let's see, and then Bluegrass, and no, I guess West Boggs would be a little farther north than Bluegrass. So West Boggs with Chris Hillenbrand's going to run that, and then we've got Bluegrass with Zachary Rossbottom and Adam Cartwright.
Nice.
TD down there, and then we're still figuring out the. Adam Murray just mentioned Jason Merritt's going to be helping him with Brush Creek.
Nice.
This year, and then I think Jim's going to be over the trail, or somebody's going to be over the trail one way or another. But
gotcha.
I think we're going to have that. Justin Staley's asking about Patoka. Nope. We're doing something at Patoka, but it's not going to be a series this year.
Okay, we're doing something at Patoka, though.
I don't think we're ready to announce that quite yet.
So. Okay, all right. We revisiting it later in the year, maybe?
Maybe. We'll see.
Maybe. Okay. All right.
I mean, there's only so many lakes that can fit a large group of people in this state, and Patoka's a good one for that. So,
sure.
We don't really want to do our championship anywhere we've got a series.
And you have a series everywhere but Patoka. So
right now, yeah. We've looked at some northern lakes, but I just don't know that we have the size. Plus, not only the acreage of the water, but then you need the lodging and all that for 80-some anglers. So
that brings up a great point. A lot of people ask, like, why are there not more tournaments in the north? And the reality of that is most of our series draw anywhere between 25 to 50 anglers on average, and some events bigger than that. And they're just, most of the lakes up there, the parking lots don't even hold 25 vehicles, let alone trucks and trailers.
Yep.
So then you got to start looking at multi-water events, and those can be fun too, nothing against that. But I think that's part of the big problem. It's why we see so many tournaments central to southern Indiana.
Mm-hmm.
And they're just historically where tournaments are held. But you guys have done great, like Nyona and stuff like that. So it sounds like for the most part, everything is going to stay the same. We're losing Brookville, but gaining Tippecanoe.
Yep.
And
that's really the only swap.
That's really the only swap. Okay, very cool.
So it's staying pretty well the same. Brookville, we just didn't have a ton of interest out there. The fishing wasn't phenomenal. I wouldn't say it was terrible, but not enough. Austin really wanted to take on the Tippy. I mean, that's
I think you're making a lot of people happy with that one.
Yeah, that's a really fun body of water. It also gives, we've got a lot of anglers that fish White River, but that's all they do, and it really gives them another option.
Another river option.
Keep them competitive throughout the year. And I'm working on some ideas for that to make, kind of White River and be tied together a little bit. So
Okay.
that's still in the works. But
There you go. Another
yeah,
little teaser for you
little
guys.
nugget there I'll throw in there.
Nice.
But
Nice.
yeah,
Well, hey, I have more stuff I want to talk to you about,
Yeah.
but I do want to get to a couple comments here from Ryan. Ryan, talking about how he likes the format here. Never has the same days off, so being able to fish on a Thursday or Friday. We got a lot of guys, car salesmen that can't work on fish on Saturdays, and could grab a Thursday or something like that. But then he has another question here. He's wanting to know what everyone's doing for sleeping arrangements, hotel, tent, campers, that sort of thing. I do the van life, so I sleep in the van, sometimes get a campsite. But, this is another thing that's great about the Grby series and all the series here in Indiana is that brotherhood, that camaraderie. I mean, a lot of guys get together and camp for your guys' tournaments. And spend a couple days out on the water and then fish the tournament and hang out afterwards at the campground. So, Ryan, if you're not already in the and anyone listening, if you're not already in the Grassroots Bass Yakking Facebook group, make sure to join that. You can go to HoosierKayakBassin.com. You can find that. You can find that links on our HKB socials. But if you just type in Grassroots Bass Yakking in the Facebook search bar, it's going to come up. And that's really, one of the most active kayak fishing groups I've seen. There's tons of great conversation that goes in there. Guys sharing all types of great information and stories, and it's just a really great group and community.
don't. I've always joked with my wife. I'm like, it's very weird when you think about it. Like I think it was my second year I was fishing. I went up to fish. What was it? Was it Tri-Lakes? I think it was, and rented a cabin and had never met Brian Spray before in my life, and we shared a cabin. It's like you just meet random people on the internet and you go stay in a cabin with them.
Yeah,
and that's the fishing life. It's so
weird. You would never do that in any other scenario. Like,
yes, yeah.
I am not going to call up a dude and be like, "Hey, you want to get a cabin?" Not happening.
No,
but
not happening.
If you fish, and then if you kayak fish,
yeah,
we're good. It's fine.
Granted, Jason Young was there too. I'd met Jason twice.
He's
that.
real shady. Yeah.
So and Jason knew Brian. There was a little bit there. It wasn't just like, hey, random dude, you want to get a cabin together in the woods and that kind of thing. But
that wasn't it.
No, it didn't quite go like that, at least. But still, it's still kind of random that these people you barely know that, like, hey, let's meet in the middle of nowhere, just the two of us on a grassy lake and sit in plastic boats together and look at fish. It's completely normal.
But there's another great story about Grby. You think about Brian Sparks, right? A guy who, he's fished a little bit in the boat side, a lot of bit in the boat side, has a little blue plastic kayak, finds this group, and he's now, anyone who has fished Grby for any length of time knows that name. Similar to Coach, right? Brian Moore. You just know that name. He's an absolute stick, and he's a guy who otherwise we would have never known, and maybe because he's got the kiddos and he's got everything going on with his business, he probably never makes it into professional bass boat space. But Grby and and kayak fishing gives him an outlet to do what he loves, and also meet a bunch of great people, and he's become the chaplain for Grby, which he's done an amazing job at. Just another great story of this Grby community, and what it's done here in the state.
I feel like the other nice thing about our series is you can be successful in here no matter whether you're in, a Hobie Pro Angler 360 with a trolling motor, or you're in a $150 Dick Special, with a paddle and a Zebco 33. We're not fishing. There's some of our lakes we have our big reservoirs like Monroe, Raccoon, used to be Brookville, but we've also got Niona. We've got bogs where these aren't big lakes.
Mm-hmm.
They're not dangerous lakes to be out on in a small kayak. It's very good if you're just starting out in the sport. Take on one of those series. They're great. Even Sullivan's not that bad of a lake, especially if you get out there on a Thursday or a Monday. There's hardly any boat traffic out there whatsoever,
Yeah.
and that's a great time to go out and learn how to fish out of a kayak. If you're wanting to get into the tournament scene, it's a great way to dip your toes in it without going in too deep. But it's a slippery slope. Look out! You will be in a pro angler 360 in no time.
Right. Sam there at Sun Valley Sports, he's been a sponsor of your guys's now for a while. I know you work with him as well. I was just reading, and forgive me, I don't remember who it was that made the post.
It was Joe Robbins.
Joe Robbins just recently bought a Hobie. There was some confusion or mix-up or something with the paperwork. He didn't get it. And Sam, owner of Sun Valley, for those of you that know, not this Sam, drives like multiple hours, 2-3 hours or something.
Yeah,
like
I think
that.
it was 100 miles one way is
100
what he
miles.
drove down
100 miles.
to
So,
Joe's house to deliver the paperwork.
yeah, could have sent it in the mail, could have emailed
Yeah.
it, could have whatever, and he drove it to him, and that was an awesome story, and you guys have had just tremendous partnerships with multiple companies who have really supported Grby and the community and the anglers. You're seeing that filter down. You're seeing guys getting pro staff offerings and sponsorships with some of the companies that are working with Grby, and I think that's been a huge part of your success. What do you think has, what created that atmosphere where you think partners want to come in and be a part of this?
I think one of the biggest things that a company looks at, and I mean, you look at our Facebook page, and it's grown. Let's see. I think when I got involved with Grby, it was at I don't even think we were at 200 anglers, and now we're pushing 1,200 anglers in a year and a half, 2 years, whatever it's been, and that kind of growth. But then you see the activity we have on our page, all the anglers interacting. The engagement, the comments, this. I mean, it's a great place for a company to say, hey, what do you guys think of this, and to get feedback. And I mean, that's a huge thing to be able to, to get that instant feedback. And you look at our page, there's no drama on our Facebook page. You look at some of these pages like KBN, and there's a ton of negative stuff on there. We have a great group of positive anglers who they're going to give good feedback, but they're not going to get on there and sit there and bash, brand B because they're supported by brand A. It doesn't seem to work that way. I mean, you're a bio guy. I'm a Dakota Lithium guy. That Dakota Lithium's a good brand. I know that Bio's a good brand, and there's room for everybody in the market.
Absolutely.
And I'm not going to sit there and bash your brand, and you're not going to sit there and bash my brand. I mean, it's a positive place for people to get informed and make their own decisions. And I mean, that's the way the country should be, is just take the information and make a decision for what works for you.
Yeah.
And
it's
Grby's,
amazing. That
page
group
provides
is kind
that.
It's kind of self-policed itself. It's definitely a friendly environment. And like you said, you look at like Adams series, Brush Creek, is that silly lake, whatever that one is.
Yep, whatever that one is that nobody likes. Yeah, that lake.
Right. Anyway, Brush Creek, sponsored by Blues Baits. And then you've got Brookville, I believe is what we did with Biz Baits.
Biz Baits. Yep.
Right? Those are two soft plastic brands.
Mm-hmm.
But guess what? Like, they're both great brands. And you see Grby anglers using and having success with both of those plastics, and like you said, there's plenty of room for that. I think it's been great. The engagement level has been great. I think the important thing for you guys as anglers in the community to know is like that engagement is the key. That positivity is the key to the success of these series, and that's what's able to allow these series like Grby, SIAC, IK, KBF, Hobie, all these things to be able to bring more to the table for the anglers.
Yep.
So engage in it, get in the groups, talk, share stories, comment on your friends' posts, and those sorts of things. I won't go into a whole social media training course here, as much as it pains me not to, because I love talking about it. But that is a super important part of this, is being active with these brands and these groups, so that they can bring more to the table for the sponsors, and in turn bring more to the table for you guys as anglers. And it's been awesome to see. You win a Grby tournament, you get a gift card, or you get some product. The championship was unreal. I mean, you guys had prizes like you were fishing the KBF National Championship, like you're fishing the Hobie TOC. Great trailers, kayaks, gear. It was phenomenal, and it just goes to show, what Grby has become and kind of where it's going. And I think that's what I want to talk about next. Like, we talked a little bit about 2023. Where do you see Grby in 5 years from now? Like,
I honestly don't know. I mean, originally we wanted to grow this thing nationwide, but I don't know. That's a huge deal. I don't know if if that is something that's in the cards for Jim and I and the rest of the TDs. I mean, that's a huge commitment. I mean, this is something we do. We get no financial gain from this whatsoever. This is all completely volunteer work. And to make this to where you would take this nationwide, it's going to have to transform into something that, that the people working on it can actually make money off of it. And I don't know that I want to take it to that. I mean, this is a grassroots organization, and, it's, we want to stay married at the same time, and you can only devote so much time to this, the family, the pain, work, that kind of thing. So we really don't know what we want to do. And I mean, the more it grows, the more, the more time it takes away from everything else. We enjoy fishing too at the end of the day. And if, this grows much more, I'm not going to have time to fish. And that's kind of selfish of me, but at the same time, that's one reason I do this, is to fish. So I don't know. I mean, we want to help anybody that wants to start a series in another state. I mean, if it works out to where, they can come back and do a championship with us, great. That's something we'll look at. But if somebody wants to take the Grby format and start their own in New Hampshire, I don't know. I mean, by all means, we'll support them, we'll help them, and do everything we can. But as far as, pulling the strings on it, saying you need to do this, you need to do that, it's going to be their own series, I think. But
look, I think I speak for us all when I say, don't feel any added pressure to do anything different. Like, what you guys are doing is working. I think that's pretty apparent in the way people are responding to what's going on. You've got a great spread. I know there's some guys in the north that would like to see it kind of spread that way. So, what I would say, guys, is get in the Grby group, get a hold of Cole, let him know that you're out there, and I'm sure if there's enough interest, you guys are going to make it happen.
Absolutely. We were kind of disappointed. I was interested to see how the IKT did up there that Topwater was doing. There wasn't a whole lot of traction that started with that. They had the St. James series up there the first year. Mm-hmm. There wasn't a ton with that, but if we can see some growth at Niona, and maybe we need to move off of that lake to something bigger or something like that, then maybe end up there. But it always takes somebody to run a series up there as well. So
sure.
If you're interested and serious about it, then hit us up, and we'll see what we can get worked out.
Awesome, man. Well, is there anything that we didn't get to yet?
We haven't talked Turkey Bowl.
Oh yeah, we gotta talk Turkey Bowl, man.
We gotta talk Turkey Bowl.
We gotta talk turkey. A lot of Grby anglers in the Turkey Bowl.
Yes.
You know what? We haven't talked about is you guys just had a tournament that ended yesterday.
We did.
And that was the October Hog Hunter
Yep. That was
Wow.
honestly just a last minute. Everybody's like, "Hey, what are we going to do this month? What are we going to do this
Right.
month?" And
What's going to
I
happen in October?
messaged Jim. I'm like, "You want to do a month long?" Yeah, let's do a month long, and we rolled it out, and that was about it. I mean, we didn't try to get any sponsor help or anything like that. It was just kind of a fun get together, and went went well. We were amazed with 50 guys. I mean, we were thinking, oh, this will be 20 guys, something like that, small little deal, and then we ended up with over 50. So
Yeah, I
we're
think
very
that's something
pleased.
you guys are going to have to continue to do next year.
Yeah, I mean, we dabble in the month longs, and what we've done, like the holiday weekend tournaments and stuff like that. But the month longs is kind of SciAC's game, so we don't
Sure.
want to step on their toes at the same time. We're not going to do those during the season, but something early or into
Or
the
late.
season, yeah, we're down to throw something like that out there.
I like it.
So,
I like it. Well,
that's one thing we do want to do next year is we're talking about the holiday weekends. We're going to try. We did it was the 4th of July this year. I think we did a
Sure.
little tournament over. I think we're going to try because we don't like to schedule any tournaments over holiday weekends. So we're going to do that this year. Have some type of holiday tournament going on. It might be just on Grby water. It might be the donut states around us, something like that. But throw some different stuff, fun stuff out there. Just for
Yeah,
fun.
and that'll be a great opportunity for anglers to double dip and get into the KBF events
Yep.
that happen, usually the Challenge Series. And the way the Challenge Series is set up now, you have to fish those weekend types of events for your AOI points if that's something you're chasing. So great opportunity there. But yeah, you guys had an excellent turnout for the hog hunter. Congrats to Mr. Money, Nick with an incredible 105 inches out of southern Indiana there. He had a 22, a 21 and a quarter, 20 and 3/4, 20 and a half, 220 and a halves. So absolutely phenomenal. TJ right behind him with 102. Jim Bailey getting up there in the top 3 with 175. Nate getting to that century mark as well. Nate Goodwin. That's a guy you're hearing that name quite a bit. He's active, very active in socials. I don't think Nate has a thought that he doesn't post.
No,
about
he does
fishing.
not. He does not. He does not.
Yes. So if you guys want somebody to follow and you want plenty of stuff to have to look at, go check out Nate Goodwin because I'm positive that if he has a fishing thought, it goes on.
And
social.
he will let you know his thoughts about every lake he fishes.
He will. He hates them all. Every one of them.
Every one of them. If he does not catch them, it's a trash fishery.
Unless it's Newton Lake.
Yes, yeah.
He loves Newton. Everything else is trash. He comes from the Northeast. Let's be fair.
He's a masshole.
Yeah, exactly. He comes from the Northeast where they throw bubble gum in the lake and they catch 20, 15 inchers. So, coming to Indiana, I can understand. But no, he is a great angler. He's learning the water as much as he hates them. But top 4 for him with 100 inches. And Brent Sharp coming in with 96 and 3/4, very respectable for October, in 5th place. And that's your top 5. So 4 guys over 100 inches in October.
That's awesome. That's awesome. Yep, you can't beat that one bit.
Well, should we share?
Yep, I saw Merlin's been talking a little trash over there. I don't know why he's talking trash. I mean, I'm on Team Merlin's nemesis, so I guess that's why he's throwing shade over there or something. But Merlin asked why what happened to Brian Spray. He's got some family stuff going on next weekend, so he had to bow out, and we brought in Brian Hensley to fill his shoes.
Yeah.
We consider changing the team name, but I mean it's a pretty good team name, so we can't get rid of that.
Oh yeah. Muddy Rudders for the win. Austin Killian says Muddy Rudders are gonna.
I think no rudder would be better for Austin because that guy loses more rudders on his kayak than anybody I've ever seen in my life.
That is so true. # no rudder, Austin.
Rudder. Yep.
So, we got 14 teams right now. Hold on. Let's back up. If you don't know what the Turkey Bowl is, if you're watching this now or later and you don't know what the Turkey Bowl is, here's your kayak bass, and we're not a tournament organization per se. Our our mission is to promote the series, to promote the anglers, and grow the community. But we do host 2 events, and that's a state championship where we combine all the anglers and champions of each series and crown a state champion. And then we do a charity event at the end of the year. It was kind of how we kicked off HKB back in the day, and it's the Turkey Bowl. And we have it the first weekend of November. We didn't have it last year because of COVID. But we're having it this year. It's at West Boggs Lake, and it's a team event, three-man teams, and it's about having a good time, still competing, but more importantly, we couple this with a food drive, and anglers bring in non-perishable food items and donate that, and then we give those to families in need during the holiday season. That's the whole concept about it, and then just getting everybody together to kind of cap off the year. This year we're doing it at West Boggs this Saturday. We've got 3 team slots left. We got a 17-team max on this because we're restricted to how many anglers we can have for this event on West Boggs. But I'm really excited about this. West Boggs is fishing really well from what I hear. This is a lake where you can go out and catch a lot of fish. And there's some good fish in there too. But yeah, we got 14 teams already lined up. And I know a couple others are trying to form right now. And some sticks in here, man. Glenn Landstrom, watch out. Grby champion 2021. In the house, and he knows something about that lake.
He was he runner up this. I think he win last year. I think won AOY last year. Yeah, and then was top 3 at least, if not runner up this year.
Yeah, him and Jim Strunk.
Yeah, Jim was right there in the running. I think Ryan Reedy won Boggs this year, and then Jim and Glenn were nipping right there. We're with them. And
this guy, incredible angler, former Indianapolis Knight, Mr. Brian Sparks, rounding out that team of Dink Crushers. Mm-hmm. So that's, I'm just saying, that might be the one.
That's my favorite right now.
Yeah, might be a favorite right now. Muddy Rudders, though, is looking pretty stout. I mean, Chris Hildebrand, no stranger to Boggs, and he's
a TD down there. He knows that lake well.
Yeah, we got multi AOI guy and Austin Killian and Adam Cartwright, absolute stick as well. So
he can catch him.
Yeah, Fish Izzle, like that name. Justin, Merlin, Wyatt. That's man. Former.
Did Justin end up winning the big bass for IKA?
Yeah, yes, sir.
I think so.
Yeah, 41 inches even. He had a 21.5 inch largemouth, and what was his smallmouth? 19.5 inch, obviously. Smallmouth for him. So, big numbers there. So let's see. We had Troy Riggins in second, Jim in third, Austin in fourth, Matt in fifth. So all over 40. But man, we got a lot of great teams, former champions, the good, the bad, the ugly. Steve Martin, Ryan Smith. Jason Cassidy's going to be down at the TOC, so he's not going to make it. So they filled
Steve was talking this morning. I think he might be looking for another person for their team. Somebody might have to bow out. I don't know if that's still the case, but if there are individual anglers out there that don't have teams, one, reach out to Steve. He might need somebody else, and if not, post it on the Grby page, the IKA page, the SIAC page, the Hoosier Kayak Bassin page. Just get a hold of him. I mean, there's all kinds of people out there that are sitting at their house thinking, man, I'd like to fish it, but I don't have a team. And just start a thread on a page, and we'll do what we can to get you hooked up with a team for sure.
Yeah, and if you can only get a couple guys together, you'll have a little bit of a disadvantage, but still come out, have a good time, support a great cause. We're not going to be so restrictive, like if you can't get 3, you're out. But, we want you to have 3. We got
it's only a 3-fish limit as well, so
it is only a 3-fish limit, which is going to play some strategy.
You're not at a huge disadvantage,
right? Yeah. Yep, exactly. It's all about the fun. It's all about getting together, having a good time. Yeah, I mean, we got all kinds of big teams here. Another Indy night there in Chip Romanovich, Bed Bass and Beyond. Their third guy just hasn't signed up yet. They do have 3.
Is that Bob?
No, Bob unfortunately wasn't going to be able to make it. So I think it's Eric. I think Eric
stands right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good deal.
King Angler, tonight's sponsor, presented by King Angler. It's got a team out there, Kyle King, myself, and Chris Anderson. So we're excited to get out there. Jim Bailey and the crew. This is going to be fun. We got some sticks in here, and it's going to be a good time this Saturday. For those of you watching that are fishing, I will be putting together a brief little what to expect kind of video, and I'll be sending that out to everyone. We will have a captain's meeting Saturday morning. We're going to get started a little later. We're going to start at 9 o'clock. The tournament is going to start at 9 o'clock. So we'll have a captain's meeting, around 8:30. We got the pavilion there by the ramp is going to be our hangout spot. For launch, so our pre-tournament meeting, we'll just do it in the parking lot, so we don't have to walk over there. But post-tournament, we're going to be hanging out at the pavilion. So if you haven't signed up, get signed up. Tell your friends about it. You can go find it. It's posted all over the Hoosier Kayak Bassin page. It's on our website. Hit me up if you have any questions. But looking forward to it. It's going to be a great time. So.
Yeah.
Let's see.
That guy mentioned earlier about where we stay for these tournaments and stuff. I mean, Airbnb and VRBO are 2 huge places where you can find really good deals on staying. Like for this tournament, it's me and 3 other guys in a double wide trailer, and I think we're paying like $54 a night for it, something like that. And it actually looks relatively nice. So I mean, just reach out, find some guys and you can find cheap places down there and cost you less than driving home and driving back the next day if you're trying to pre-fish before.
Yeah, absolutely. Also, that reminds me, if anyone is camping at West Boggs, great campground there, by the way. If anybody's camping at West Boggs with an electric site, I might need your help with something. So holler at me, especially if you've got someone staying with you, like a wife or a girlfriend or something like that. Has to do with food, trying to get some food stuff worked out. So holler at me if you're camping at West Boggs and have an electric site where we could maybe hook up some crock pots or something. Keep some food warm so when we get off the water. It is going to be chilly Saturday, especially to start. So we're going to want some warm food afterwards. And I could use your help. So holler at me if you're gonna be there. All right. Well, thanks for coming on, Cole.
Anytime.
I appreciate it.
Anytime. I haven't done Grby Talk for a while, so I was kind of itching to get on a live broadcast. So this was nice.
I know it. I've been missing Grby Talk, and one of the reasons I chose Monday was just kind of fill that void for all of us. So we'll be back. We'll have another live here soon. I've got some tentative dates to share with everyone for another group, SIAC. A little teaser here for you guys. Tentative dates. It has not been posted anywhere else yet. So if you're watching, you're getting to hear it first right here. Okay. April 16th is going to be a single day on-site event. May 1st through the 31st is going to be the, annual month-long that SIAC does. Typically that's been in March or April prior years. You're going to be doing that in May. A second weekend event in May, also an online event, so that's pretty cool. June is going to be the nocturnal event, so that's where you pick one day, either Friday or Saturday night. So June 10th and 11th for that one. July 16th, single day on site. July 30th, single day moving water event. August 28th is going to be a single day on site, and then the championship will be September 17th and 18th. Locations for those events to be announced here soon. So stay tuned for that. If you missed it, we released the tentative locations for the Bass Nation Series not too long ago. So go back and check that out. I'll get all this stuff up on HoosierKayakBassin.com as soon as it's all made official. But for right now, you can find all the tentative stuff at HKB's Facebook page. So check that out. It's going to be a good one. Wyatt says I got a generator also if needed. Yeah, so here's the thing, guys. I just kind of put it out there. I'm going to bring some soups and some chilies for us. The pavilion does have outlets, but there's not going to be anyone at the pavilion during the tournament. So I'm kind of was hoping that somebody had a place where we could put some crock pots and keep them until the tournament. So get with me offline if you're staying nearby or at the campsite, and we can work that out. That way I don't have to have my wife drive 2 hours down to West Boggs with some crock pots. So appreciate that, guys, for the generator discussions there.
I think Rick Gibbons said he's got an electric site down there.
Perfect. So just get with me offline after this, and I appreciate any help there. I appreciate everyone so much for coming out to this event. Appreciate all the sponsors who are helping out with that as well. It's been great. We got so much going on there. Tons of prizes. We're going to be doing prizes to the first, second, and third place team. Prizes for individual performance. And then everyone who donates a item for the food drive, you're going to get a ticket. And we're going to do some drawings for some additional prizes. Extreme Clean Power Washing has donated $150 total, so 3 $50 coupons that we're going to draw for, or cash prizes, Yak Attack, King Angler, KBF is giving away 3 Challenge Series entry fees. We got Wicked Waves products, TRC, Biz Baits. I mean, we got some great stuff from Rogue. Want to give them a huge shout out, partnering with us for this event and into the next year. Amazing stuff there. So, we've listed them all. We'll continue to list those sponsors, but definitely get out there. Everyone's going to take away something. A lot of people are going to have an opportunity to get their money back, plus some. We are going to have a great prize payout with 50. If we hit that 51 angler mark, first place prize is going to be pretty good for a fun little single day event. So really excited about it. Thank you, Cole, for all your help and support with putting the word out there about it and helping getting people connected and all that. I can't thank you and Grby enough for the support there and getting this event out there.
And I also want to say, Grby, besides the anglers, we've got a good group of tournament directors that put a lot of hard work in.
Absolutely.
And we can't thank them enough for making this as successful as it's been. It's a labor of love for all of us, and it's just like everything you do with Hoosier Kayak Bassin. We all do this for the love of the sport. It's a lot of work, but we still love it at the same time. So thank you for all you've done. For you do a great job of bringing all of us together and having all the information in one spot, so it's easy for a new angler to find. So thank you for that.
Yeah, man, that's the goal, and like you said, we do it because we love it, and we're giving back to that community that's given so much to us. I can't thank all of you. Like you said, all you tournament directors and admins are incredible. I only run 2 tournaments a year, and it's overwhelming. So to do what you guys do for an entire season is a lot of people don't understand how much work goes into that. Truly appreciate it and respect everything you guys are doing. We're gonna get this Turkey Bowl going this weekend. We'll have some coverage there at the Turkey Bowl and post coverage. Let you know what went down, what happened. If you guys can't make the tournament but you'd like to give back in some way, feel free. to reach out to me, figure out how you can hook up with us and donate some food. If you're in the area, West Boggs is in Lagodi. Feel free to drive by in the afternoon and drop off some food. If you guys want to make any other type of charitable donation, let us know. Get a hold of us, and we'll make sure that gets to families in need this holiday season.
I'm sure we can. If you guys want to drop something off, I'd be willing to pick it up at Sun Valley or Moving Waters or whatever. I'm sure those guys wouldn't care if you dropped it off there, and just let us know, and we'll swing by and pick it up. I haven't asked them about that, but I'm sure they'd be all on board. I mean, they're always apt to help you and I out anytime we need it. So.
Yeah, absolutely. So please do that if you can, if you're interested. And then next, we're going to start preparing for the 2022 season, the state championship. We're going to have some information coming out very soon about the Last Chance event. Who's qualified for it? What's it all about? The details and all that coming up. Somebody's going to get an opportunity to get into that state championship, possibly, if they don't get blocked. But we'll talk more about that on another HKB Live. Cole, thank you so much again for joining me tonight. It's been a pleasure, and thanks everyone for watching. Make sure, if you haven't already, go share this. Give us a like, follow us. Check out HoosierKayakBassin.com. If you want to become a contributor, that would be great too. We're looking for people to do video, to do blogs, and stuff like that. If any of you are photographers and want to come out and do some photography for us, that would be great as well. We're not raking in some buku bucks where we can pay a bunch of people, but if you want to contribute, we'll make sure to give you some shout outs and share as much love with you as we can. So hit me up if you're interested in that. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll let you know when the next HKB Live is soon, and be watching out. HKB 22 podcast, weekly podcast, coming to you guys very soon as well. Thanks everyone for tuning in. We'll see you next time on HKB Live. Later.
See you.